And so I just, in that moment, was like, I said to my partner, I'm going to go live for Jesus. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to go home, I'm going to fly home, and I'm going to go and live for Jesus. And it was like, the instant I said it, joy entered my life.
Wow. Hey Lauren.
Hello.
How are you?
Good, thank you.
Yeah, how did you hear about Jesus?
Okay, I heard about Jesus. I can't remember not knowing about him really. My parents split when I was about 5 years old, and my mum chose to follow God, and my dad did it a little bit, but not so much. And so I grew up in that sort of environment, hearing about Jesus and knowing who he was. But always just kind of still wanted to do my own thing, and found it a lot of rules. And I think my mum was so scared of kind of us going into the world that she just tried to really pull us into God. And so I think I found like a bit of like, I formatted a wrong idea of who God was, I think. And then when I hit my teens and just wanted to do my own thing, I just was like, yeah, see, I'm gonna do whatever I want.
Get me out of here.
But I'd been baptized and kind of been exposed to the church sort of thing, and there was always something in me that just knew sin was sin. You know, there's sin and there's God. And so I knew that sin separated you from God, and I felt more and more separate from him. And it wasn't until, I think it was like 3.5, 4 years ago, where I was in a relationship, a really toxic relationship with an alcoholic, and it was a dark time for me. All that sin trapped me into this yucky place. Anyway, we decided to go overseas for 6 months, and I was about 6 weeks into the trip. And I just was getting convicted from sin. I just had not, it's like God had kind of stood back and allowed me to be in my yuck. And then all of a sudden he was wooing me back. And my mum gave me a Bible on the trip, and my boyfriend at the time, we used to surf, and so he'd go surfing and I'd be just like reading the Bible, and then he would come home and I'd just like hide it away because he just didn't like God at all. And I didn't know what I was reading, but I just had this like pull to read it. And I just was like, I would even say to God, I'd be like, I just know you're there, but I don't know how to get to you. And it's funny because I just felt him pulling me to a point where there was like a week of dreams where I was dreaming about the end times, and I'd wake up like, God, I'm not ready, don't take me. And I was so wanting to have the world and God, and they didn't go together. They just don't go together. And I would sin, it would separate me from God, and I'd read my Bible and bring me back, and it was just this like tug of war a little bit. And I had these dreams, and the end times just gave this reality that where am I going when I die? Like, that death is nearing everyone at some point. And it gave me just a big question that kind of hit my gut. And the last dream that I had, I actually led someone to Jesus, and I'd never experienced anything like that before. And I woke up sobbing with this deep desire to lead someone to Christ. Like, what would that feel like? He's obviously the answer. But I'm in this toxic relationship, and I don't know where to run. I've got no believers in my life. I was in the middle of Mexico. Like, I just don't know what to do. Anyway, I decided one night we were meant to go to this house party in the hills with lots of drugs and stuff, and I was getting ready to go, and I felt God just say, like, if you go, that's it for my warnings. Like, it was, and it sounds weird to say that to people, because a lot of people, you know, God is love, and I get that, and he's grace, but he's also, you know, strong and warning. He will warn you, and he gives you so many chances, I think. And this is almost like my last one. I knew in my heart that it's like, if I said no, he would just hand me over to the world. And so I just, in that moment, was like, I said to my partner, I'm going to go live for Jesus. And he's like, what? And I'm like, I'm going to go home, I'm going to fly home, and I'm going to go and live for Jesus. And it was like, the instant I said it, joy entered my life.
Wow.
I stopped swearing, smoking, drinking, everything left me. Like, all sin, every tiny sin I would do after that, I would have the deepest conviction and then run back to Jesus. And for me, it's like, he wants all of us, you know, not just little bits. And I chose him not because he had all these promises of what he'd give me, and yes, my life is lovely now, but that wasn't promised. It was, will you follow me and choose me and give up everything that you think brings comfort? And I did it. And it just was literally the biggest leap of faith. I moved home. I had no friends, no money. Everyone was just like, you've gone crazy. And I said, yes, I have. But I've got to give it all to him. I've tried it where I've done a little bit here and there and it doesn't work. So why not? Let's just try giving it all to him.
Go all in.
And I've never looked back.
Awesome. That's so good. Oh, thanks for sharing, Lauren. I appreciate that.